Hey there VCE HHD students, my name's Andy, I'm a VCE Health and Human Development teacher. In this short video we're going to look at common data mistakes made by VCE HHD students version number 1. Before we dive into this video, just a reminder there's a range of different ways you can engage with the Health Resources Hub. We've got our YouTube channel where there's over 150 content videos, SAC and exam tips, and there's new videos coming out each week during the school term this year. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe with the button in the bottom corner of the video there, or you can just head to YouTube and search for the Health Resources Hub. We've also got our website, the hrh.net.au, where there's opportunities for teachers and students. And if you're a Unit 3 and 4 student, you can head to the website and scroll to the bottom of the page, and you'll see there's a registration form for our free student newsletter. That's coming out twice a term this year with free SAC and exam resources and also tips and advice. So if you head there and sign up, you can get sent the first 2 versions that have already come out this term. You can also head to our social media there and follow us to get alerts to our new videos and other opportunities, and also our email if you'd like to get in touch. So if you've completed a couple of SACs already this year, or you've looked at some past exam papers, you'll know that there is a lot of data that's presented to HHD students in these assessments. So that might be in the form of graphs or tables or infographics. And so often students make common mistakes when referring to this data, and they're losing really attainable marks. So we're going to look at some of those common data mistakes and hopefully help you to avoid those in your assessments. So what I typically say to my students when looking at some data like this, which is from a previous exam, is you should always start by looking at all of the information that's presented to you. Hopefully during reading time you can do this. So starting with the title, then looking at the actual information in the graph, so different axes. So this is looking here at the percentage, of the burden of these particular diseases or conditions represented in Delhi, and obviously this is for globally and Australia. And then across here we're looking at the year. This has also got a key here which is showing you the shading or the colors that are related to the particular conditions. And so the common mistake that's often made in this type of data is that students incorrectly quote the section or the condition that they're referring to, because what they often do, instead of just referring to the width of the particular section here, is they quote from the top line. So what I mean by that is when looking at non-communicable diseases here in 1990 globally, this is approximately say 42%, and that's fine. But when looking at injuries, students will often say, well, injuries is approximately 55%. But you only have to look at the width of the section here. So let's say that this is approximately 10%, this width here. So make sure that you're only looking at the width. One more example, when you look here, say at communicable diseases, the width here is say approximately 30%. So you're not referring up the top here of approximately say 90%. So you're only referring to the width when you're looking at these particular shadings in these type of bar graphs. This is another example of some data from a previous exam. This is represented in a table, and one of the common mistakes that happen when students are looking at this kind of data is they forget to refer to the units of measurement. So for example, when we're looking at under 5 mortality rate here, you need to make sure that you're saying for Australia it's 3.6 per 1,000 live births. Or when we're looking over here at deaths due to ischemic heart disease for Sierra Leone, it's 5.6% of total deaths. So make sure you're referring to that unit of measurement, otherwise you'll be quoting that data incorrectly. This graph here, is looking at 5 leading factors that are contributing to deaths in Australia in 2017 for females. And so once again, you can see here looking at the y-axis, this one's now number per 100,000, and the x-axis is the factor. And the common mistake that students often make here is that they often refer to, say, high fasting plasma glucose as 78, and they leave off the per 100,000. So it should be 78 per 100,000, in the population. Or what they sometimes do is they'll take the 78 and they'll do some kind of maths in their head and they'll call it 780,000 or something like that. So all you need to do is no special calculations, just read the top of the bar here and then say per 100,000 in the population. So make sure you're not trying to do any special whiz-bang calculations because that's not required. Okay, hopefully you found that useful. We've got 2 Unit 3 Error Study 2 SAC preparation sessions coming up on April 14th and 28th. And so the first one's the last Sunday of the Term 1 holidays. And so they're running online from 3 to 4:30 p.m. And when you register, you'll get emailed on the same day a 50-mark practice SAC that you can complete prior to the live session, and then in the live session I'll be going through a mark by mark breakdown of the answers and how to structure your answers to ensure you're achieving full marks, and we'll also go over some common mistakes to avoid for this SAC, and there'll also be the opportunity for Q&A with me, and then after the session you'll get sent an email with the answer guide to the SAC. So if you're after some extra SAC practice and some extra SACs in the lead up to this Area of Study SAC, then feel free to head to our website where there's a direct link to register, or you can head to this link down here where you can also register. Okay, thanks so much.